because of the fact that there's low volume. There's such low volume right now that it's so easy for a lot of the more intelligent players, which happens to be a lot of the big money, that are gonna scrape all these low quality gems, and it also depends on the ecosystems that have the strongest presences, the ones that are active for example, TVL, which is total value locked. If you note a lot of the great ecosystems, and you can just look this shit up on DeFi Llama, there's a reason why they're stacking their native token, is because they're expecting it to be worth more, plain and simple. That's simply my 2 cents. We're just getting started, and I'll be here to listen on Alpha, Gigi, Naveen, and the rest of the gang. Scene. I pray to meet you guys one day. From my heart to yours, have a very blessed day. I'm in Puerto Rico and Miami, so if any of you guys are ever there, please feel free to touch grass with me also. I love to work out. I love to pray. I love to read, write. I'm very grateful, and today's gonna be the best day ever. That's all I know. Also, wait, here's another another super notable thing: is inverse Kramer. Kramer is literally sounding off a very bearish signal. So if you have a few brain cells, you'll understand that if he's bearish, then you buy the fuck out of the asset. That's my 2 cents. Oh, and vice versa. If he says buy it and sell the fuck out of your assets. 100% truth. Love you all so much. I'm so grateful to be here. I'll be listening on as I take my walk along the beach area. Very grateful and very blessed day today.
Yeah, blessings to you too. Appreciate you popping in. You're a goat, AC. Always a pleasure. Also, I did want to take it back what I said about the Rolly guy, who's also one of the reptile PFPs. He said "good boy" after I mentioned him, and yeah, I'm 100% taking that shit back, bro. I'm not your dog, brother. But yeah, Genuine's down in the audience. If he does want to come up, he or she does want to come up and speak on what kind of went down, because I don't know. I think it's entertaining, not entertaining, but I mean, I love hearing stories like that, especially in the space. Genuinely, like somebody taking something over. Like I've seen so many people try to take over collections and buy rights out, and like end up getting violated. So I mean, I don't know, somebody who did it the right way. I think there's definitely a story to learn for sure. I also changed the title of the space to Circle Files for IPO, because it looks like Circle has filed for an IPO, which I don't know, filed it with the SEC, which we'll see where that takes us. But yeah, we will see.
Hey,
What's
see,
good?
AC, I have one of those signals too, and Alpha's like one of those IRL signals because every time he FUDs something, it skyrockets. So he's kind of like the inverse Kramer for me.
Thank you, Silver. Keep buying. I'll catch you on a burner space, brother. But yeah, keep buying my bags, brother. Keep buying my bags. Love to see.
Yeah, so Alpha, just on that Circle thing. So yeah, Circle's behind USDC, right? So I think if they get stable legislation passed, it's going to be interesting to see if these banks or any of them try to start their own stable coin or if they push adoption through USDC. So, and that'll be an interesting competition if they start doing their own, which I would imagine they would.
Will we see like more USDC implement, like I don't know, not regulation, but like banks using USDC more if it is IPO'd?
I mean, I don't think the IPO necessarily has an effect on it, but I mean, I think just in terms of bank integration, I mean, I think what do you call it? If they do any regulation on these two things before the August recess, yeah, I do think you're going to see a very fast pace of banks and a lot of institutions adopting stable coins through somewhere in their stack. I mean, they've already all been talking about it, so yeah, I think and again, even with you don't even need the regulation. Like they could start doing these things now. It's just because there's no regulation and because all the enforcement actions have been given up. Now it's really just like you could technically do whatever you want, within existing law, right? So, they could be doing these integrations right now, and they may not have announced it, or if they could be building their own stable coins now, we don't know. But yeah, they probably would prefer though to wait to see what the legislation is before actually releasing or doing anything major, though, I would imagine.
But wouldn't it be in the bank's interest to start their own stablecoin rather than going with Circle?
Oh,
Yeah, like
absolutely.
why
And it's
would
just a
they?
matter of it could be they use USDC and then develop their own down the line and then offer that, and it could be something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So yeah, I mean, they may not come out right away with their own stable coin, but it's definitely going to be in their interest in terms of generating any interest and any fees that Circle would charge on them, depending on what their integrations are.
Wouldn't
Hopefully
that be
this one goes through because this is gonna be their third time trying to file this IPO. So hopefully this one sticks.
Well, I would imagine this one. I mean, compared to the environments we were in previously when they filed their IPO to now, I would imagine this one
Yeah,
sticks.
and they're partnered with
I'm not,
JP
I'm not
Morgan.
into IPOs,
Yeah,
so.
this one
would
looks a lot more promising for sure.
wouldn't that be considered like a CBDC at that point if they were to decide to make their own stablecoin?
Well, no, because it's still a private company, holding it, right? Not the actual state. But I mean, I do think the fear is CBDCs being a backdoor to some form of I mean, what do you call these stable coins being a backdoor to some form of CBDCs, right? Whether that, and again, you don't even need to have it be a universal CBDC, right? If all these banks issue their own stable coins and then the US government either with any new legislation right now or any in the future comes out and basically implements a quote unquote CBDC on any stack of stable coins that are already registered to them and all that or whatever, then there's your CBDC. So, I mean, that to me is one of the biggest fears. Which is the type of legislation they should be passing or doing things to prevent, in my opinion, than working with the government to pass the existing ones they're doing. Because that was so Circle's CEO just came out and endorsed the Stable Act. I saw Brian Armstrong also did. I don't think that one. I don't know if that one specifically bans the user yield part because Brian did come out yesterday and came out against that. I don't know if that's only a Genius Act provision. I thought it was in both. Um, but he may be endorsing it now for the markup for committee tomorrow and them taking that out. So I don't know, a couple more days and some of the stuff will be more clear. But um, yeah, I mean, because Circle has their own strategy. If they want to work with banks, they don't want more stablecoin competition. So certain provisions, benefit them versus maybe that would benefit Coinbase. And the other thing was the Solana Foundation started their own lobbying arm yesterday, or announced it yesterday, and they just got hired today or announced today that the head of one of the biggest lobbying firms for crypto previously, I, it's Block something. I think it's Block. I can go look and get the name. But anyway, they were pretty much the whole one. Now they're coming to the Solana side, which is just like I'd have to see. We have to see more like what their proposals are and doing because it just strikes me as, and I'm not knocking Solana for this at all. Because if I had my own chain, I'd probably want my own lobbying arm, maybe because I disagree with people. But I don't know what Solana would specifically lobby for. That is like um, you wouldn't lobby for like all chains, but there could be stuff that other chains might lobby for that would hurt Solana that wouldn't hurt them. So I don't know, but yeah, it's getting interesting.
Tory Max Long and everything. Is that what I'm hearing, Bad Brothers?
Again, like all the noise on the timeline, all the meme coin stuff on the timeline, like everything from a legislative perspective, besides all the macro environment stuff as well, all of that stuff is just bullish. It's saying any of this stuff in a full bull, 2-3 years ago would be unheard of, right? And it would send us, 100%. But it's just like, yeah, we're kind of at where we're at right now, and the next stage of crypto will be it's like okay for like all these chains and stuff, Solana, ETH, talking about their apps and everything and how we haven't been able to build the last few years in certain aspects because of these regulations and the tax and stuff. Now it's kind of like once this stuff is done, or even now because like I said earlier, you don't need any regulation, all this stuff is removed. Now it's put up or shut up time in terms of like actually developing stuff, and if institutions buy in, which they are, and adopt some of these technologies, improve that efficiency, right? So yeah, and I think we're probably maybe if you gave us like a few more years, we'd be in a better position. But in terms of where the tech is now, I think in terms of the things you could do to bring efficiencies, you just had actually Eric Trump on, and I know keep remembering things so that just had Eric Trump on. Fox Business earlier talking about basically that aspect of it, where he's talking to all these institutions and stuff, and he realized, okay, you could do all X, Y, Z cheaper than these banks and stuff, and that's, I guess, what World Liberty Fi may be focusing on as well. So, I mean, you just have a lot of positive pieces moving in terms of narrative that isn't being shown in the chart because of other reasons.
And this is a big month for crypto because on August 9th is when they're holding the hearing for the market structure. So we'll find out more August 9th. And then August 5th is when they're going to tell us like,
April.
sorry, April 9th and April 5th is when they're going to tell us how much crypto the government actually holds. And somebody said that they're also going to break down like their thoughts on Solana and some of these other altcoins, but I don't know if that part's true.
They may have another working group coming up discussing that specifically. I'm not sure if they take an official position on those things, but
Is there a way, like, to bet on like Circle? Like, I know we were talking about this like the last couple spaces, and we talked about Athena and Layer Zero and how that would potentially be a way to kind of take a bet, place a bet on stablecoins and the stablecoin boom. But is there any way to like potentially put a bet on Circle, or is it just the same ways with Circle with Athena and Layer Zero?
well, I guess for Circle, I mean that's just that'd be the IPO, right? And betting on their stock. I don't think there's any existing way. But that's the thing with some of these stable coins, right? It's just kind of like, okay, we're gonna get all this stable coin adoption at that level, but it's like, how does that pump our bags? Like, there's not our the only thing that it pumps is, I guess, more things being on chain, right? And like all that, and I think ancillary bags and pump off of that. So again, it's all positive, but like, I don't know, compared to if like banks were integrating Bitcoin at that level compared to what they're going to do with stable coins, yeah, that would be a lot more bullish for our specific bags. But I still think the stable coin stuff, them adopting that, will be bullish for us.
Are you telling us, Alpha, that USDC is going to $5? Is that what you're trying to do? Is bet for that, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Like $10. Like, bro, why do stable coins even go into like dollar denominations? Why couldn't they do it in like 5, 10, $20? Like, I know.
Just keep holding alpha one day. But yeah, you would have to be an accredited investor for the IPO, so that's going to be a hard way to get involved. But Coinbase is like a secondary way to trade it, so because they hold a large stake in Circle, so that might be the play, and that's publicly traded. The fact that we're talking about stocks right now, and you posted about what's it called, Zillow. Is that the state of the market right now?
It's April Fools. It's April Fools. You're not going to catch me.
No, I know that you're looking at mortgages and shit like that.
I'm,
That's where you're at.
I'm refinancing right now, currently working on refinancing my Chipotle burrito that I bought like 4 months ago. Like it was only $13, but I'm making these payments of 70 cents a fucking month just to get by, which is insane.
I wish that was an April Fool's joke. People like refining their DoorDash is insane. And like
I mean, but he's being
credit card
financially
debt is
responsible.
at an all-time high. And the amounts the people are indebted right now, it's not looking healthy.
No, yeah, there's a lot of metrics you can look at that don't look healthy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chart. It's I just opened up the Real Vision shit that I've had for a minute, just to look at the global markets, and it doesn't look too bad. Just even with like stock changes and I don't know, crypto doesn't look as bad either. Uh, I'm trying to find the M2 charts, but
Didn't Raul say it's the bottom? Or in the bottom of the zone or something, like yesterday or the other day?
and he also said that like fucking like 4 months ago.
Okay. But speaking of mortgages, I did see, like, this was a while ago, but you can get your mortgages backed by crypto. I did not know this was a thing, but some of them it's like 100%, and then some of them it's like 50%. So if you do have a lot of crypto lying around, you can get loans backed or like mortgages backed by that. So that's a huge step for crypto, I think.
So wait, so the mortgage is backed.
You have to place collateral. So it's up,
So
some of it's 100%, which is kind of ridiculous, and then some of it's 50% collateral.
well, I'm just saying, like, how does that work in terms of, so a regular mortgage, right? It's collateralized by the house, right? So it's like, what I can understand a collateralized Bitcoin loan or something, right? Like getting a
Yeah,
loan
it's
just for your
more of a
Bitcoin, but I don't know how the
loan.
mortgage
Yeah.
works.
But there's companies like I think it was Moon. I can't remember if that's one of the companies, but yeah, they will let you get a loan through them with a 50 to 100% collateral. But I don't remember if Moon is 100% or 50%. It's a big step for crypto because crypto was just not real money, or it didn't have that kind of value before or use case. So I think it's huge.
Well, I mean, even with the stablecoin stuff I was talking about, right? Like, imagine we could pay pretty much any bills or whatever we have right now in stablecoins. Like, if I could just fucking go from on chain to, sorry, I got a call, send that to the bank, like that'd be a W even for that. But
It's a big thing for like you not having to sell your crypto and get the capital gains tax. I think that's like a huge upside
well, no,
for
either way,
using that
you would
kind of
have to. I
service.
mean, they would have to eliminate that because it's like even if I paid, let's say, my mortgage in Bitcoin, that Bitcoin that I'm transferring for that dollar value, I still have to pay the gain on that.
No, you don't sell. That's the whole point of it. You
No,
don't
but
get capital gains
it's
taxed.
it's still a gain because I'm transferring technically from like one asset to another by paying down the mortgage, so it still should be a gain if I remember
You
my tax
you don't
classes
have to
correctly.
sell your crypto though.
No, it's not. It's not a sell, but it's like what do you call? It's like if I were to there's certain tax laws around this, but if you were to trade me your house for like a bicycle and like say, oh, there was no like gain on that, or like there's no like you have to market to the market rate and then pay the difference in the taxes, right? For a lot of these things. So
From what I
um
understand, that was the whole like benefit of it, but yeah,
I mean,
typically.
I could be wrong on this. I haven't taken my tax classes in a while, but and it's only on certain things. And tax laws are like they don't make any logical sense, right? It's just whatever in the tax law. So it could be some finagling there from some certain tax law. I don't know, but that's just remember what I remember from my tax classes.
Yeah, do not take tax advice from any of us.
Yes, no, I didn't. I was gonna get my CPA, but then I said fuck that because I did IT audit. So no, I didn't even get my CPA.
USDC to $5.
Keep holding, Alpha. Keep believing.
It's coming. You guys just don't see the fucking vision.